Hi, everyone. Welcome to Heart, navigating lipedema together. And with me, Catherine Seo, and my colleague and friend, Lisa Dure. And the together we have for today is Lisa's not feeling that well. So she is resting, and I am here for a wonderful day with you. So I want to let you know that yesterday we had a very special workshop called Loving You, Loving Your Body, all about self love and self care, which we do a lot these days. And so I am here to say it was an amazing day. There were five of us who presented different aspects. Um, Nina Manelson presented her body peace map, which is a remarkable way of looking at inner support and inner awareness. I presented on releasing and the emotions, that what happens when the emotions bat us around. Oh my goodness. And then we had Hetty Pugh, who is actually with us today. She is a visualization and meditation teacher. Yeah, as, as well as other stuff, but that's what she did for us yesterday. And Cindy Bears, who did yoga, and then Siobhan Huggins, who did the whole trajectory of empathy and for food. When I think of nutrition, empathy for ourselves and the struggle that our bodies go through. So it was an amazing day. They will be available for replay. So make sure that you're on our email list. Okay, I want to um, I just wanted to check. Let us know who's here. Um, where you're listening in from. Um, be great to say hi and give you a shout out. But for now, I want to bring our guest on. Hetty Pugh is an immersion immersion coach, which she'll tell us more about. In addition to that, Hetty also, as I said, does visualization, and I'm going to bring her up. Hi, Hetty.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming today. So, immersion coaching, what
Mhm.
is that, and how does it work?
So, um, immersive coaching is a little bit like traditional life coaching, but I'm using guided meditation in the sessions. So we are going within ourselves to find maybe what's just below the surface of our awareness. We may not really even be tapped into the things that we're thinking and feeling. And maybe we're really living outside of ourselves. Maybe we're thinking about what other people are thinking, or what society is telling us, or what a well meaning relative or friend is saying. So, the power of immersive coaching is in the guided meditation, and it's a really unique method to learn about yourself and reflect on yourself and find what is that right path for you. Um, on a personal level, Catherine, and I don't know if we've actually ever talked about kind of how I got here, but I did have a period of experienced intimate partner violence in my life, it was actually a long time. And so when I kind of emerged from that as a survivor, and we all hear that, surviving, right? I'm a survivor. And I thought, oh, this is the pinnacle. This is the end. I did it. But what I realized, Catherine, is that that was just the beginning. And I had no idea, and at that time, I didn't even know I had lipedema.
Mm.
And they were intimately linked. And through immersive coaching and guided meditation, it not only helped me know myself, it taught me how to self-direct and to take action and to really create and live out what the vision that I had for myself and my life. I had a career before being an immersive coach and guided meditation facilitator. But that whole time, I was living with the lingering effects of adversity. And so, with guided meditation, and you know about all this, and I would love to take your class on the brain, the mind, the nervous system. What we're doing is we're first calming the body. We're calming the body, and then we're going inside. And it actually takes, I would say, I try to allow 5 to 7 minutes to allow all that clutter and noise of our world to kind of subside before we start to really go into that self-reflection. And, you know, I, I want to talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, kind of how the lipedema kind of comes into all of this.
Yes.
And
Um,
it's, yeah.
you said something, Hetty, that really struck me.
Mhm.
You said that the situation that you were in and the lipedema were intimately connected.
Yep.
And I'd really be curious if you
Mhm.
could go into that in more detail.
Sure. Yeah. So I believe I was diagnosed 8 years ago with lipedema, but I believe that I had lipedema even as a teenager. I remember feeling that my legs in particular were different and they were painful, but I had no idea that that was not normal. So as we all, a lot of us with lipedema have gone through that. There's something different about my legs. And I was in a relationship, and I with a man, and there was a lot of conversation and a lot of pressure to deal with my legs. And this partner, really got me into competitive cycling and all this exercise. And he came up with, a way I could fix my legs. And I just bought into that. And that relationship was one of many where it became violent. And I, I felt like there was something wrong with me, wrong with my legs, wrong with my body. And, it really became a journey for me to heal from all of that,
Mm-hmm.
to heal from not only that the lingering effects of domestic violence, but also dealing with my body, like what is going on with my body. And that was, that journey lasted a couple of decades. And I don't think I'm alone in that, because lipedema is still, and thanks to you of bringing awareness to it. But for so many of us at this time, we've been living with it for so long. And so we are now peeling. I'm still peeling back the onion. As I said in yesterday's workshop, we're peeling back the onion. We are almost, we're kind of letting go of all these things that we have taken on. And Catherine, sometimes I think of it as a toting around this red wagon of
Mm-hmm.
filled with all this stuff. And I have, I've had to discern what is really true,
Mm-hmm.
what is really true, and what is just something that I'm holding on to, and almost as if these stories keep me safe. Um, and I actually, that is how I felt in my career for the first 20 years. I was in this kind of invisible, I was in operations. So it was allowed me to be invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, so many of us can identify with wanting to be invisible. And so, coming into coaching and meditation, I really started working through these things. And that link to the lipedema and how I felt about myself, my body.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really helps, and it helped me. And this is why I love helping other people, but helps you to create, proactively create. And those are two keywords. It's proactive. We are not hopeless people. We have choice. We all have our own internal, all have our own strengths. We have choice. So we're proactively creating. We can create, we can visualize, and we can make choices that help support what we want in life.
Mm-hmm.
So many of us kind of go through life and we're just drifting around. And at some point I realized that that's not okay with me. That is not okay. So that was why I had a major career shift. And
Mm-hmm.
now I feel like I'm living the dream.
Hetty, it just strikes me, having had my own particular journey and having worked with literally hundreds and hundreds of women whose stories are similar, where the level of self esteem and self value is diminished by our physicality and the deformities that many of us live with.
Mhm.
And yet, if you think about it, of course you don't deserve to be abused, not for any reason. There is no justification for that. Yet we do that to ourselves. Can you talk about that and how you were able to overcome that? That's a
Mhm.
biggie.
It is a big one. I think everything came to a head for me because of the pressure of looking a certain way, and the
Yes.
pressure that a woman with lipedema, person with lipedema, you have to educate yourself. You have to get on all the Facebook groups. You have to weed through all this stuff. You have to find a medical provider who knows about lipedema and can help you, right? And you're all the while dealing with the silent symptoms of lipedema.
Yes.
What, feeling just constantly feeling like, I don't know what's wrong with me. So, I had all those things going on. And I was in a career that allowed me to become visible. And it was actually a perfect career for me because I could be in the back. I could be this little operations person making things happen. I didn't have to be out in front. I didn't have to really worry about what to wear. But deep down, it was simmering. It was simmering. I knew this was not it for me. And over the years, I just became more anxious, more stressed. I became so small,
Mm,
and I just avoided being out there. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be seen, and it may be a surprise to some people to hear that when they meet me, but that's how I felt. And things came to a head, and I actually quit my job. It's the first job I ever said, you know what? I can't do this. I
mhm.
was so stressed out, and this was years ago. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to pursue something that I want. But I was so scared because here, I've lived for, decades feeling that like I don't want to be out there, but I want it, but I don't want it, but I want it. I want to do something. I want to help people, but I was so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started by taking very small steps. What I did first was I reinvigorated my meditation practice. I really didn't believe I was a meditator. I didn't believe I could do it. I didn't believe I had it in me to have a meditation practice. So I just did it. I went in, I got training. I even trained to become a teacher. And in that process, and I know that you know about meditation, and I wasn't even expecting this, but I just started developing like a compassion for myself. And I wasn't planning this, and we hear self-compassion a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, I just started feeling like almost like an internal self-compassion and a little bit of like empowerment building. So that was the start. That was the start. And I started feeling really good. And that really led to then be retraining with leaders in immersive coaching, guided meditation, and personal transformation. And in that process, I started developing some wherewithal, some resolve, and some empowerment. And it was just this slow build. I never even thought I would be doing. I would never thought I would become an immersive coach, helping other people design and create and feel empowered to live the life they want. So it was a process that I had to go through, and I had to have courage, Catherine. I had to draw on a lot of inner strength to
Oh,
put myself
yes.
out there. It was painful, and it still is sometimes. Like this is even hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so I hope that kind of yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question and how I worked my way through that. So,
In your process,
mhm,
I'm thinking and I'm imagining myself in your place of having made a decision that was really life changing, quitting your job
mm,
and going into this place is, I mean, it's not,
mm,
you don't go back from that, you only move forward. And yet, still struggling with the issues of visibility, of presence in your life,
yeah,
of being able to find your own core and let that shine and help others. Can you speak to that, Hetty? It's not a little thing. When I say it's a big thing, it's one of the reasons why I invited you to come and share with us because you have been able to create for yourself your life with such challenge and yet with such presence.
thank you. Well, self-reflection is probably my biggest lesson in all of this.
Mhm.
Um, and really looking back and reflecting on my life. And I actually have, I've done therapy, and I think I am a proponent of therapy. I I love it in all of its forms. Um, but I look back and I see kind of seeds of in my life where
Mhm.
little situations to me as a little girl, I was really shy. And I remember these situations where I I tested being visible and I got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it probably was not a big deal for the other person, but for me, things really stayed with me and they built.
Yes. Yeah.
So, um, I knew in looking back and looking within myself, I came to realize that that little girl, I'm not that little girl anymore. Um, I, I, I really looked at my past and I've looked at where is it I was feeling invisible. And I remember those situations.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, do you remember situations where like that, where you're just, you're kind of shut down from something that
Mm,
you really wanted to do?
yes.
So I was, able to put distance between these stories. And stories are really important. We tell stories about ourselves, and we as I said, we kind of hold on to them like babies. We protect them and we rock them and we nourish them when they get bigger. And what I realized is that I was not even aware of telling stories about myself that
Mm-hmm.
were so old.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't have to hold on to those stories. I don't even have to believe them. I can tell a new story. And so I started, and this is even way before I started doing visualization, but I started visualizing what if I wasn't doing this job that is sucking this soul sucking job. Sorry to everyone I worked with, but it wasn't for me. And I
Well,
did it for 20
you
years.
were you were in that job for a
Yeah.
number of years. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a fly by night. You were in there for a couple of decades.
Couple of decades. Yes. And even at kind of the tail end of that, the decades, I started thinking, God, where do if I was going to wake up and go, what would I be doing in my dream day
Mm-hmm.
years ago? And I kept thinking, I wake up and I'm at home or whatever, or maybe I'm in an office or something, but I am talking one on one with someone, and I saw myself sharing, listening, talking, helping.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have the qualification. If I don't, I probably should have been a psychologist, but I didn't do that, and I didn't want to go back to school. But I kept seeing myself having autonomy,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw myself having confidence. This is my dream. This is my dream of my dream day. But I
Mm-hmm.
saw myself, but I was so far from that. But that seed, it took root. It just, the more I thought about it and the more I gave it power, the more I know this is going to sound, you know, woo woo to some people, but something happened. The universe, things, I started making choices toward that goal. And the
Mm-hmm.
universe started helping me toward that goal, I think. So it just grew from a seed.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that visualizing myself doing what I want to do and living what I want to live and being myself and not being kind of all my life I have been swayed and influenced by others. And at the end I was hardly even able to make my own decision for myself.
Mm.
So
You articulated so well.
thank
Um,
you.
Tamara is she does one of our podcasts and she says, I agree. We all have stories that we want to lock away in a vault and never look at again.
Mhm.
Healing and moving forward is key, which is what you're talking to.
Yeah.
Healing and moving forward. And if you can visualize it, You can live it. You can move into
Mhm.
that place. We have another 5 minutes left. Could you lead us through a visualization?
Mhm. Yeah, I sure can. We'll have a few minutes of relaxation and visualization. Although normally it takes a few minutes to get into that relaxing state,
Mhm.
but let's go there. Let's go there. Let's close our eyes. Let's all do this together. Anyone who's listening to this right now, close your eyes and just breathe in and out through your nose. Hmm. And slow your breath down a bit. Let the muscles across your face and your jaw become soft. Drop your shoulders because they might be up near your ears. And you're starting to feel more at ease as your breath slows down. I want you to imagine your lower ribs as they expand out when you take an in breath and contract in on your out breath. Your breath is slow and steady. I want you to imagine having what you want today. What is it that you need for yourself today? Not what anyone else needs for you or what anyone else wants for you. What do you want for yourself today? Is it a little relaxation? Is it a break from the hustle and bustle of the holidays? Is there a decision on the horizon and you want clarity? So I want you to imagine putting all the things, the pressures and the influences of your outside world, and let's just imagine putting them up on a shelf for now because they can wait. And we're just thinking about today. What do I want for myself today? And maybe even allow your mind to see yourself going through your day just the way you want. How does that feel? And as you're envisioning that, take 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Because you're creating your life. You are the author of your story. No one else gets to write it for you. And over the next few breaths, you can slowly open your eyes.
Oh, that was just lovely, Hetty. That was just lovely. Well, I'm delighted to say that Hetty and Cindy are going to be offering a 3 or 4 week class. We're just in the process of coming up with dates for February, which is our self love month. So stay tuned and come and join us for the class. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
I can't
So,
wait.
what last words do you have for people for this particular segment
Mm-hmm.
that can be helpful to people?
Mm. I think the most helpful thing that you can do is practicing um, asking yourself, what do I want? How do I feel right now? What is my desire in all this? And just connecting with yourself. So it takes practice, but even just asking yourself that question, what do I want in all this, can plant a seed for you.
Oh, that's so wonderful, Hetty. Thank you. So I'm going to leave you all today with what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
Thank
And
you.
many, many blessings. Thank you, Hetty.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for all you do and for having me on. I so have enjoyed this.
Yeah, this has been wonderful. You're a natural.